Alright, so for 10.4, we're going to talk about hyperbolas. So just to give you an idea of what that looks like, it's a graph that's generated that looks something like this, almost like an hourglass shape, except it would be an exact reflection, unlike the drawing I have here. But it has a center, which does exactly what you would think it would do as far as being a center. Yeah. It has vertices, which are just directly across from the center. And then it has foci that sit just outside of the vertices. All right, and the distance, where the foci come from, it's the distance, or how, let me rephrase that, how this thing is set up, or generated is if we create a triangle with the focus so if I come straight up to where I intersect the hyperbola and I come down and I call this D2 and this D1, for all points the absolute value of the difference of the two distances is always constant. Okay, so that's just how that comes to be. It creates a right triangle, but that's where the focus or the foci come in, with the fixed points, and it's all the same distance. All right, and so what we need to know, the important components here is the center, which we call HK, the vertices, which we call, which are H plus A, K, and then the foci is H plus C, K. All right. And if this hyperbola were to be rotated 90 degrees, then you would have K plus A and K plus C for the vertices and foci. So A represents the distance from the center to the vertex, and then C represents the distance from the center to the foci. All right. So if our hyperbola looks like this, all right, so it's vertical or has a transverse axis, which is just the line that cuts across the middle, is horizontal, then our equation for the standard form is x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared will equal 1. All right. Then if we have a vertical axis, or it looks like this, or hyperbola does, then it would be y minus k squared over a squared minus x minus h squared over b squared would equal 1. All right, so these are two ways of generating a standard form. So let's just look at an example here real quick of this, and it'll be enough to get you through the homework because it's just finding the standard form. So I've got a hyperbola with a center at 0, 0. My foci, if I can spell it correctly, my foci are at plus or minus 5, 0. And then the vertices are plus or minus 4, 0. So just to draw a picture, just to kind of see what that's going to look like. So here's my center. It's at 0, 0. Then over here I've got, I can draw a little better than that. So my vertex is at 4 and negative 4. And then I have foci out here at 5 and negative 5. All right. So just to kind of give you an idea of at least what it looks like. All right. So A is represented by the distance from the center to the vertices. So that has a distance of 4. So my A is 4. Right? And then the distance from my foci to the center is represented by C, and C is 5. All right? So similar to what we did in 10.3, we need to know what B squared is, right? And so we can find that by just doing the Pythagorean theorem and saying A squared minus B squared, or A squared plus B squared should equal C squared, right? So I've got a C squared of 25 because 5 is C. A squared is 16 because A is 4, so I just subtract 16 over, subtract 16, I get 9 equals B squared. And I need to, that's for my standard form of my formula. That's what I use is the B squared component, so I don't need to take the square root. Right? So looking back over here, it's the hyperbola is laying vertical with a transverse axis being horizontal, so I'm going to use this first formula. So I've got x minus h, which would be the x coordinate for the center. So I've got x minus 0 squared over a squared. Well, a squared is 16. Minus my y coordinate of y minus my y coordinate of the center, which here is 0 also squared, over b squared, which is 9, is equal to 1. So if I want to clean that up, I would have x squared over 16 minus y squared over 9 would equal 1. And that would be the standard form of my hyperbola. All right. So that wraps up 10.4. It's a short section, and it's just being able to develop the standard form and graphing, which you can use graphing utilities for that. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to email me. And as always, have a great rest of your day.